One click is all it takes to lose everything.
We are in a cyber war. You can either be a defendant or you could be a victim.
Don't click on the link. Say it with me. Don't click on the link. And if you want bonus points, don't open the attachment. I was actually really surprised, and that's the reason I'm creating this video, is I did a social media post last week where I said, don't click on suspicious links in emails. Don't open up attachments in emails. And I got so many people fighting back going, but how do you know? How do you know if it's safe? How do you know if you should click on it? Well, let me put it this way. Unless you are completely positive that it is from a legitimate entity or a legitimate person, don't do it. One of the number one methods that attackers use to target individuals is sending a legitimate looking email that has a link or has an attachment, and all you need to do is make one mistake. One click is all that has to occur, and now you're compromised. Now, a couple of things to keep in mind. Here's how these adversaries work. They're going to send you an email that looks like it came from a legitimate entity, that stirs up an emotional response, that has an urgency and a time component to it. I'll give you an example. And this recently happened to one of my clients that I work with. 9:30 at night, one of the managers receives an email from the vice president of the organization, and it says, "Hey, John, we just found $3 million additional dollars in our budget, and we want to give it to you. But you must open up this spreadsheet, verify the allocation is correct, and get it back to me by 11 p.m. tonight. If I don't hear from you by 11 p.m. tonight, you'll lose the money." Now, here's the funny thing. John receives this, and what he told me was, "Eric, it just didn't seem right. It didn't feel right, but I clicked on it anyway, and as I'm clicking on it, I have this feeling that something is wrong, and boom, my system gets compromised." Now, let me ask you a question. Let's be honest. What is the probability that if you were going to get a multi-million-dollar increase in your budget, that your boss would send you an email at 9:30 at night? They wouldn't call you. They wouldn't notify you. Then come on, let's be serious. And if they were going to give you that increase, what's the probability that you have to reply to them by 11 p.m. that night? Now, maybe that's how your business operates, and maybe you go, "Oh, but Eric, that could be legitimate." Let me ask you a question. Why not make a phone call? Why not pick up your phone, call them, text them? Isn't the extra 20 seconds worth it than the 20 hours you're now going to have to deal with your compromised system or all your data gone? So anytime you receive an email, always look for, is there an urgency? If you get emotionally worked up, if there's a really tight deadline, just step back for a second and say, does this make sense? And pick up the phone and verify. But one click could ruin your life. It could ruin your company. It could get rid of all your data. Yes, it's that serious. So always be super careful with any email before you click on a link or open an attachment, and make sure you verify, validate, and if you're not sure, delete the email. And if we work together and start being more careful on our actions, we can make cyberspace a safe place to live, work, and raise a family.